I'm going to be showing you my Vita collection. Now, I told you in a couple of past videos I wasn't going all digital for my Vita, but at the moment I am all digital for my Vita. The reason is I actually picked up a good deal on a Vita memory card. I was actually at a Kmart going at a business sale, and if you didn't know, Kmarts are still around. They're just few and far between. And the Kmart going out of business sale actually had a 64 gig Vita card for roughly $55. Yes, that's still expensive for a 64 gig card, but realistically, when's the next time a Vita 64 gig card is going to be $55? So I had to pull the trigger, and usually the 64 gig Vita cards go for 90, 100, even 100 plus at most places. So I had to pull the trigger on this deal. It was just an amazing deal for a 64 gig Vita card. And I am all digital for the exception of one game, and I'm going to show you which game I didn't go digital for. I didn't go digital for the Sly Cooper collection. The main reason is, for obvious reasons, is the file size on this is very, very big, and I wanted to cut down on file size so I can have as many games on my system as possible since I am going digital. And I think the file size for Sly Cooper collection is 6.6 gig, so that's very, very big for a Vita game. I could almost put like 3 or 4 games of the cost of one of this game on this system. So that's why I didn't put this digital. I actually put it in my game card slot, and I'm probably never gonna take it out of my game card slot since I am going all digital. And anyway, I'll see you on the Vita, and I'll show you what games I already have installed on my Vita. Now, before I move on, I'm actually going to show you how much gig I have left out of my 64 gig. You're only allowed to use 59 gig out of the 64 gig memory card, and out of that I have 33 gig left to use for myself. I do have 10 full retail Vita games installed, and I do have one PS1 game and one PSP game installed, so that's just roughly what kind of content I have saved on my 64 gig card. Now anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show you the games already installed on my Vita memory card. So anyway, here we go. Now here's all the games I have installed on my Vita. The first game at the top right is Killzone Mercenary. Now Killzone Mercenary is probably the best looking Vita game, or one of the best looking Vita games. It basically plays like a PS3 game on the go, and in terms of an FPS shooter game, I would highly recommend it. It is the best one on the system, considering there's not a lot of options for shooters on the Vita. This is the best one by far. The only thing bad about the game is the campaign. The campaign is very short on Killzone Mercenary. It's only 4 or 5 hours, so the meat and potatoes of the game will be the online mode. That's where you're going to get the most content out of this game. You're not really going to be getting it in the single player campaign because it's so short. And also there is a DLC called Bot Zone, so if you don't have internet or if you don't want to play real people, you can actually get bots just like Call of Duty and you can play them, but the fee to get the bots is $2.49. So if you're wondering, you can play bots on that as well, not just online with real-time people. But overall, the experience is very, very good. I've had no problems. Is it the best looking Vita game ever? Probably not. There's some games on this list I have that will really show you how good the Vita graphics are. The next game I own is Miyamasa Rebirth. And before I continue, I do apologize for the brightness. You will have to adjust the brightness on your computer, your cell phone, or whatever you're watching this on, because my camera has an autofocusing problem when things get darker and lighter, and if I keep adjusting the screen, it will become blurry and it will have to focus a lot, so I do apologize. Just turn the brightness of your screen up, that should help. Now the next game I have is Miyamasa Rebirth. It's basically a 2D side-scroller action button masher. So if you like button mashers and you like 2D side-scrollers, then you're really going to love this game. The graphics in this game are amazing for a Vita game. It's actually a port of a Wii game, if you ever played the Wii game. Overall, it is a very fun game. It just gets really, really repetitive, And this game is very expensive, especially for a Vita game. It's going for like $27, $28, somewhere around there. Almost $30 for this game. So if you can get it used for a cheap price, I would highly recommend going for it. But other than that, it's really not worth full price, since it gets really, really repetitive. And it is based off the Japanese culture. If you love Japanese games, or if you love Japanese culture and stuff like that, you're really going to love Miyamasa Rebirth. And second of all, it does have light RPG elements. What I mean by that, don't expect it to be a full-hearted RPG. It has light RPG elements. You can upgrade your swords, get new swords, you can get potions, you can get health packs and stuff like that. But overall, it's a 2D action side-scroller with a lot of button mashing that gets very, very repetitive fast. Overall, I'm 10 to 15 hours in, and I do love the game. And to sweeten the deal, they do have DLCs on the PSN store. They have 4 DLCs for the game, which you can extend the game's replayability if you want to. Now here's all my other games. The first PS1 game I own is Mega Man 8. The reason I own Mega Man 8 is because it was my first Mega Man game growing up, so it's nostalgic to me. Would I have bought it if I never grew up with Mega Man 8? I probably wouldn't. It's not the worst Mega Man game by far. It's an okay Mega Man game, but the problem with it is it's too easy. If you didn't know, Mega Man actually talks, I think, for the first time. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the first time Mega Man talks. And the bosses here aren't the best in the series. They're kind of cheesy. They're not the best bosses possibly ever. They're just kind of cheesy and just weird. But overall, it's a good game if you can buy it cheap. But I wouldn't recommend it if that's your only Mega Man game. It's an okay Mega Man game. Definitely doesn't blow the NES ones out the water by no means. All the NES ones are better than this by far. The next one I own is a Tearaway soundtrack. I just got it with Tearaway, so there's a Tearaway soundtrack. And then I also got Metal Slug Anthology. Basically, what Metal Slug is a game just like Contra. If you ever played Contra, then you'll know what you're getting yourself into. It's the Metal Slug Anthology, and Metal Slug is actually on the Neo Geo. But I would highly recommend not playing it on the actual system it was made on. I would get the Anthology. The Anthology comes with 6 Metal Slug games, and the reason I prefer it over the actual console release on the Neo Geo is because it is a very, very hard game, and I highly recommend playing it on the Anthology, because I highly doubt you're going to be able to beat Metal Slug Anthology on the Neo Geo, because you die so much. It's so hard that with the Anthology, they give you unlimited lives. It's not a game you have to take real serious, because the story's not there or anything. It's mostly a 2D action shooter. You basically go around shooting army men, tanks, helicopters, buildings, things like that. So it's a very fun time for a very game. And that also make this collection for PSP, PS2, and I think the Wii. And I have played the Wii version of this game, and I can tell you right now, I love the PSP version a lot. The PSP version is my favorite one just because it's portable and the controls felt right. I never found on the Wii that the controls felt right on the Wii, so that's why I never really stuck to that one, but I have played it. And second of all, it looks really good on the PSP screen, and this is the PSP version you're seeing. They did port it over to the Vita, but it's still the PSP release. They didn't upgrade the graphics or anything just for the Vita. It's still the PSP release. So overall, that's Metal Slug Anthology, a very fun game. The next ones I have are all my Vita digital games. Here's all my digital games. The first 3 on the top is a Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter, and the Sly Cooper Collection. The Sly Cooper Collection 1, 2, and 3, you do get 1, 2 as a physical game, but Sly 3, when you buy the game new with the game cartridge as a physical game, you don't get Sly 3 on the actual game card. You do have to download Sly 3 as a digital game. So if you were wondering, I would highly recommend buying Sly Cooper as a new game, even if you're buying it physical, just because Sly 3 is a code, and if you buy it used, then you may not be able to get the code in the box. It may already be used by someone else. But overall, Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter, and Sly Cooper Collection, they're all ports of PS2 franchises. So if you played the PS2 games, they're just updated graphics. They didn't really change anything for any of those games. But overall, I like all the PS2 era collections, and those are all going to be 3D platformers. It just depends which franchise you like. But I would say though, Jak and Daxter is the least functioning one on Vita. I would highly buy Ratchet and Clank or Sly Cooper Collection before I bought Jak and Daxter. The reason I wouldn't buy Jak and Daxter immediately is because it has a lot of slowdown, it has a lot of lag, it has a lot of issues. Is it still playable? Yes, it's still playable. Do I play it personally? Yes, I play, and I can get over the hiccups. And again, it's mostly for nostalgic factor too, that I grew up with it as a kid on the PS2. I played Jak and Daxter, so I have some kind of attachment to it, and I got over the hiccups. But most people probably won't like the hiccups, so I would say get that last. I would definitely get Sly Cooper Collection or Ratchet and Clank. And I did forget to mention, Ratchet and Clank Collection is only digital on Vita. Even if you're not going digital for your Vita, you will have to get Ratchet and Clank digital. Now I know in the UK they actually did give out Ratchet and Clank as a physical game, but I don't know why in America they didn't give it as a physical game. It's only a download only for Ratchet and Clank. The next one I have is Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. And Sly Cooper Thieves in Time is the latest installment in the Sly Cooper series, and I haven't played it yet. I've only played Sly 1 and 2 so far, so I don't know if it's any good, but it was supposed to be good. According to reviews, it's not that bad of a game. And then the next game I have is Rayman Legends. Now, Rayman Legends is by far one of my favorite Vita games. The reason is, it's a very fun 2D platformer. It's just amazing. The graphics on here, in my opinion, almost look PS3-esque as well. The graphics are very well done. The sound in the game is very good. Everything about the game is very good. The only thing I don't like about Rayman Legends is that they have these Murphy stages, and basically you have to use the touchscreen and the touchpad throughout the whole level. They come up about 50% of the game. So that's one thing I don't like about Rayman Legends. It's kind of like when the DS was first announced, or when it first came out, a lot of developers were just trying to tack on the touchscreen and the second screen just because it was there and they felt like they had to use it. That's kind of how I feel about Rayman Legends. I feel like they kind of forced it on us to use the touchscreen and the touchpad and the gyro sensor just because it's there on the system, which I find I don't really care about, because I don't really like mobile games, like cell phone games or tablet games. So that's just me personally, but it's still a must-buy on Vita in my opinion. I would highly recommend it. Even if you're a fan of 3D platformers, I would still go ahead and pick up Rayman Legends. You won't be disappointed at all. It is a very fun game. Another thing about the game is it does have Rayman Origin stages in it built on, and they're free for you. You don't have to pay extra like DLC. I can't believe Ubisoft went all the way to include the old levels from Rayman Origins on Rayman Legends. Rayman Origins is on the Vita, but since they include them on Legends, there's really no point of buying Origins unless you're a collector. The next game I have is Tearaway. Now, Tearaway is probably one of the best platforming games on Vita. It is a 3D platformer, and basically how a Tearaway works is it uses all the functions of the Vita. Like what I mean by that is it uses the touchscreen, the touchpad, the microphone, the gyro sensor, the buttons, everything the Vita has to offer. It's really a game to show you what the Vita is capable of doing and what it was made for. And to be honest, it works very, very well. And in this instance, Tearaway actually works really good. It's not gimmicky. It actually is a very good game. It's almost a must-play game in my opinion. But the only thing that keeps it from you buying it at a full retail price is the game is very short, just like Killzone Mercenary. It's only 4 or 5 hours. So if you can get this one used, then definitely go ahead and buy it. I highly recommend it, just not at full price since the game's kind of short. But overall, it is an amazing game, almost a must-buy too. I would highly recommend it. They're also making one on PS4. We don't know how good that one's going to be. I think it's coming out this year or next year, but Tearaway is coming out on PS4, a whole new version. Then we got Borderlands 2. Now, Borderlands 2 is a port of, obviously, Borderlands on consoles and PC. I do own 2 other versions of Borderlands. And is it a good game on Vita? Yes, it's a good game on Vita. Of course, it's not the best one. It does have hiccups, and it does play at 30 frames per second. And you don't get a lot of enemies on screen as some of the other versions of the game. And it also comes with 6 DLCs, excuse me. And you do have to pay for them, but if you're really going to invest in it, you might as well buy the DLCs. Overall, it controls well. The game also looks PS3-esque. It looks amazing on the Vita screen. Overall, it is a very good game. I personally think it is playable. I think a lot of people are blowing it out of proportion, saying it's so bad. It's not that bad, honestly, but it's not amazing. Would I have gotten this? I probably wouldn't have paid for it, honestly, just because I already own 2 other versions of Borderlands 2. I did get this free as a packing game. That's the reason I own it. Overall, I've been fun with it. And where it lags the most is Sanctuary. I've put in about 15 or 20 hours right now. And Sanctuary is the most part where you're going to find the most hiccups. When you're actually going around the land and stuff, it's not too glitchy or hiccupy. It mostly gets really laggy in Sanctuary. I don't know why, but that's where I found the most hiccups. The next game is PlayStation Battle Royale. Now, PlayStation Battle Royale is a ripoff of Super Smash Brothers, and if you've ever played Super Smash Brothers, then you know what you're getting yourself into. The only thing about PlayStation Battle Royales is I wouldn't technically get it as a game. It's not a fun game, honestly. Super Smash Brothers is 100% better than Royales. I just find it to get really boring really fast because of the mechanics. If you've been playing Smash Brothers and then you try to play PlayStation Battle Royales, then you'll really know what I'm talking about. It is nowhere near the funness of Smash Brothers, but if you can get this cheap, then I'll definitely go ahead and pick it up and try it out. Just give this game a try. It's not a must-buy or anything, but it is a fun game, just not an amazing game. Definitely not worth the full price. And believe it or not, there are still people playing the online mode to this day. I was able to jump in a couple of matches, and I found matches almost instantly still, because there are people still playing that. The community is still well and live. The next game I own on Vita is Little Big Planet. Now, Little Big Planet is a very good game. I've only played the PSP Little Big Planet. I never played any of the console Vita game, the console ports, or the console games, excuse me. I do apologize, but I haven't played any of the console games. I've only played Little Big Planet PSP and Little Big Planet Vita, and overall, I love this game. It is a very good game, especially if you're going to be owning it for a long time. It has a lot of content in the game. The reason it has a lot of content is because, of course, the user-created levels keep this game fresh and new. It feels like you have new levels to play almost instantly with the new levels the community is creating for the game. So it's almost unlimited replayability in that sense. Overall, it's a very good game. Also, another note about this game is I would highly, almost 100% get this brand new, because if you get this used, there is a code in the box that has an online pass. If you don't care about the online pass, then go ahead and get it used. You just won't be able to download the levels online or use the online functionality of that game. So only get it used if you don't want to go online, because there is a code in the box. And now I'm going to boot up 2 games and show you I'm not faking it. I actually have 2 games that I'm going to show you and boot up. It will load up on my memory card. I'll go ahead and do a little demo. The first one is Rayman Legends. As you can see, it's booting up. They're actually installed on my memory card. I'm not faking it, if you were wondering. Just showing you this. I'm just going to boot up to the main menu of the game so you can see that it loads up. It's still about the same speed as if you had the physical game. It doesn't load any faster on the memory card, if you were wondering. It's still about the same load up speed. There it is, Rayman Legends booted up and ready to go. The last game I'm going to do is Miyamasa Rebirth. I'm going to show you it loads up. As you can see, Miyamasa Rebirth is also booting up. I do have it installed on the memory card. And anyway, this is just my PS Vita collection. And peace out. I'll see you guys later in my next video. I'm out.